This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
If you're looking for quality seafood with friendly service, then the Fish Shack is the place for you. We're fast, fresh, and convenient, and ready to serve you today. You can order online and come in, or pick up your food curbside. We have outdoor seating as well. Need something to cool your taste buds? We have tasty daiquiris that you're sure to love. So come see us today at the Fish Shack in Byram, where we have great seafood and good daiquiris.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
Okay, so how long have you been coming to Stan's?
Since 1987. I've forever loved Stan's Burgers because the people, they're real people. They help the community and their family own and operate. And the food, the quality, and service has always been phenomenal. And anywhere I'm at, I always recommend people to them. It's great food, and you get enough love for your money. If you need a good place to eat and you want a good environment to support the community and support the effort of the Jackson community, I recommend Stan's Super Burger to you because, like I said,
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
If you're looking for quality seafood with friendly service, then the Fish Shack is the place for you. We're fast, fresh, and convenient, and ready to serve you today. You can order online and come in, or pick up your food curbside. We have outdoor seating as well. Need something to cool your taste buds? We have tasty daiquiris that you're sure to love. So come see us today at the Fish Shack in Byram, where we have great seafood and good daiquiris.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics, from the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories. We cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, so how long have you been coming to Stanford?
Since 1987. I forever loved Stansburg because the people, they're real people. They help the community and their family own and operate. And the food, the quality, and service has always been phenomenal. And anywhere I'm at, I always recommend people to them. It's great food, and you get enough love for your money. If you need a good place to eat and you want a good environment to support the community and support the effort of the Jackson community, I recommend Stamps Superburger to you because, like I said,
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the Pregame. Brought to you by Chambers and Galen Law Firm with your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the Pregame.
And welcome to another edition of the Pregame Show. We are finally here. It is brought to you by Chuck Mullins, attorney at law. Finally, Neely, it is game day Saturday. Jackson State versus Alabama State. Looking forward to it, man. We get things underway in about an hour now.
We're about an hour from kickoff. I'm live from Churchill Smoke Shop once again. Got a killer show lined up for y'all out there, man. You know, shout out to the sponsors. Chuck Mullins, attorney at law. Title sponsor up there. Of course, cannot forget the original OG sponsor, Chambers and Gaylor Law Firm. They've been with us since day one. Got a couple new sponsors on board and more growing. Marcus Turner Insurance is on board. Penn Financial Investments is on board. We're growing, man. Can't forget Amber Slaughter out there who's sponsor as well. And even got some swag sponsors. What do you think about that?
I see that. I say, So definitely wanted to shout out to all the sponsors. Hour of chock full of information. We're going to get into it all. Jackson State comes into this game, Neely, 3-0 and 2-0 in SWAC play. Alabama State 1-1, 1-1 in SWAC play. We all got that extra victory for the team that opted out. But I tell you what, it should be a great game today. Looking forward to it. The Alabama State Hornets are always pesky in terms of.
Ain't that like a bug? Ain't that just like a bug to be pesky? Always buzzing around.
Over the last 10 meetings, they've won 7 of them. But I tell you what, Neely, the last time we paid a trip to Montgomery, our Tigers came out ahead 20-2 in that game.
Yeah, and Chuck, that historical information is accurate. It is what it is. But I am embracing this Coach Prime philosophy. When you ask him about those previous seasons, previous records, he is quick to point out how much that has nothing to do with this team. A lot of these guys on this team were not around during those days. Weren't around 4 years ago, let alone 3 years ago. Some weren't around a year ago. So this season is special, and this pandemic spring season, records are kind of out the window. Alabama State's only had one game this spring, one conference game to play Southern. Took a loss in that one. So we got to see them play on TV, get some film notes and that kind of thing. So this is really going to start a new mark, a new demarcation and going forward and what this rivalry is going to be about. But you're exactly right. Traveling to Montgomery, to the Gump, is always a pesky thing to do. Our team went on the road today. They're there, ready to play some football. We're going to bring Coach O on. He is a star of this segment, getting our show started, so he'll be with us as we get going. A lot of other guests going to join in as well as we discuss Tiger sports, particularly Tiger football.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a huge week for Jackson State sports. When you take a look across the board, a lot of things going on. Of course, we go back to last Sunday, huge win over Mississippi Valley, 43-7. A lot to talk about with regards to that. And we have our women's basketball team. They will be prepping for the game tomorrow against the Baylor Bears. The tennis team doing tremendous, volleyball team doing tremendous. It is a great time to be a Jackson State Tiger.
Man, it is a great time to be a Tiger, great day to be a Tiger, never a bad day to be a Jackson State Tiger. Some of those topics you hit on, we're going to have today. Coach Reed is scheduled to join us from San Antonio to talk about them getting ready to face the Lady Baylor Bears, historic, making that 15 seed and going against the 2 seed in this tournament. And on the men's side, 15 beat a 2 yesterday. And what's our motto? What's our motto? I believe. So we're going to get her on and talk to her about that upcoming game. A lot to get into. But I got to tell you this, Chuck. You're going to hate not being with me today. Typically we're at Memorial Stadium in the media room. I got a special guest that stopped by Churchill, and they didn't come empty-handed. So I'm going to show you this mask, but that ain't all they brought. That mask is just a Fish Shack mask. I got my man BJ, man. It is smelling good. I see a daiquiri jug over there. I'm going to actually unplug mine in a second. BJ, step on over here, brother. Look at this shot.
Another sponsor.
Bleed the blue.
Get that volume up. I tell you what, BJ, I'm going to throw these back in, and I'm going to let you and Chuck talk for a second.
BJ, man, welcome into the pregame show. We thank you for being one of our sponsors. Tell us a little bit about your business, Fish Shack.
Man, we over at the Fish Shack over here in Byron, Mississippi, man. We was just facing some trying times in the restaurant business with the dining in and what we're going to do with the population and the percentage of people you have in the restaurant, just facing a hard time. So business partner of mine came up with the concept of, just kind of a takeout deal. Where people can get them in, get them out, get great food, fast service, and fresh food. So that's the concept we came up with. Put the deal out in Byron, Mississippi, serving the whole metro area, and it's been going great, man.
No doubt about it. You're a Jackson State fan. You came in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got some. This is what we call the D I Love special here. It's a little blue and red here just to get things going.
A little blue and red action, a little D I Love special. I love it, man. Man, thank you for coming in and showing the pregame show all sorts of love. We're looking forward to seeing it out at the stadium as well, man. I tell you what, huge day today, game day today, Jackson State.
We're excited.
Montgomery, take it on.
Absolutely, man. Look forward to it. Thank you guys so much for having us on.
No doubt about it. Thank you.
My
Charles Bishop and Neely here. Neely over there at Churchill Smoke Shop. I tell you what, man, looking forward to getting into this segment. You know, I tell you what, he always preps and get us right every week. None other than Director of Player Personnel, and he's over recruiting, Coach Otis Ridley. Welcome in.
Hey, Coach O, I got to show you something. You go, BJ, bring one of the pants over here, man. Let me show Coach O. Coach O, I wish I was there with you, Coach, because you know I know you know how much I love game day and that atmosphere. But you know, we here live at Churchill, you know, trying to be respectful of travel guidelines and spacing. But look at that guy here, man, from the Fish Shack. Look at that guy. Look at little pan trout action. Fish Shack done dropped off a load of pan trout to Churchill. My man BJ, y'all go see him down there in Byron. We got a daiquiri jug. I don't know how this show gonna go, Coach O. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Tell your friend BJ over in Byron that I'm gonna have to come see Byron.
Coach O said he come to see you, BJ. Wait, he got another pan, Coach. Then we gonna get to your segment. Yeah. Oh man, wait a minute. Oh, no, I got you. I ain't gonna spill it. We got a little crawfish, baby. We got a little crawfish. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the Fish Shack down there in Byron. BJ, we appreciate you dropping in by Churchill Smoke Shop. Much love you down there, brother. Appreciate you sponsoring the show. Be blessed out there. Coach O! Fan favorite. They love your segment, baby. Come on. Talk to us about the atmosphere in the Gump. What's going on out there?
Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, hey, it's an exciting day for football, as always. It's a beautiful day, man, over here in Montgomery, Alabama. The guys came in energetic. They focused. We have had a lot of adversity, as our fans would know, getting over here to Montgomery, but we're going to make sure we hold up our end of it to handle business, to give them something to smile about.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
You know, Coach, you talk week in, week out about the importance of the preparation, the process. In terms of getting ready for this Alabama State team. Alabama State, they have some talent. They have some all-SWAC performers on offense and defense. Talk a little bit about what you've seen thus far on field.
Yeah, definitely. Well put together football team, and it starts with the coaching staff. Coach Healy does a good job of getting these guys prepared each week. I know a few of the guys on staff, and phenomenal coaches. So it starts with them. But the guys, man, you can tell they're bought into the system that Coach has put in place over here. So here's the thing, you know, we match up well with these guys, and we don't go into any stadium fearing anybody. We go into every stadium that we show up in on the road or at the vet. We go in ready to play football. And we know that they put those bottoms on the same way we put our bottoms on. They put their tops on the same way we put our tops on. And so we're going to play ball today. And so no matter how well they looked on film, they look fast, they look explosive. They have a really solid defensive front that we're going to be ready to play against. But we know if we do our job, like I told you guys last week, the week before, and the first week, we'll be ready to play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have always been prophetic. You know, I imagine once upon a time, Noah was telling everybody it was going to rain, and they were laughing until their water got up about their waist. And you have always come in here, Coach, and you told us what it looked like for the week of practice, what we can expect on game day, game film, out there on the field, I should say. And, Coach, you ain't been wrong yet. So I'm going to trust your judgment yet again. Why bet against a man that ain't lost yet? So I'm going with you, Coach. So in that vein, what have you seen this week, you know, as personnel director? You touch all the players, all the units, all aspects of the game. As personnel director, what have you seen this week that is a different tone setter or a crescendo or rise up from the past weeks?
Great question right there, Neely. And the thing I've seen this week, we're still learning how to win. 3-0, but we still got a lot of room for improvement. And what the guys have done this week, they have really focused in. We know we got a big-time opponent here today, but they really focused in on details. Coach Prime has done a great job this week of just harping on details. And I'm going to tell you, the word for the day is finish. Right? So when it's zeros on the clock, I promise you, we're going to finish this game the right way. And we wouldn't have it any other way, man.
You know, Coach, you talked a little bit, and you talked to us about it at the Grambling game, about physicality up front, establishing the running game. And I think that's one of the early storylines within this Jackson State football season. We have wanted to control the line of scrimmage, if you will.
No doubt. Attitude, guys. Attitude. Our attitude is different. Our swagger is different. The way we approach the game is different. The mental approach, the physical approach. And when you put all those things together, you get a really good product. And then on top of that, the guys appreciate good coaching. You know what I mean? We can't get over that fact. The guys appreciate good coaching and they're responding to it. And so when you come over here and play a team like Alabama State, you don't want to come over here and you come over here lax. You don't want to come over here thinking that everything is going to take care of itself on its own. You got to put stuff into motion. And one thing I will say about these guys, we got guys at every position that can get stuff going for us. And if you got guys that can really get the motor going for these other guys, you got leaders in these rooms who can really drive those other guys to play above their level. You got a great chance to keep putting W's on the board.
Yes, sir. So, Coach, at the post-game presser against Valley, Coach Prime spoke about just what you touched on. We got to learn how to win, how to finish, and that drop-off in the third quarter in scoring. Got a segment coming up a little later that we did with Coach Michael Pollack, co-offensive coordinator, and he touches on some of the things y'all worked on this week. From your perspective, personnel touching everything, what are you looking for in that third quarter based on the work you guys put in this week? And also finally having some real-time film on an opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to answer the first part of your question, third quarter adjustment, just in the third quarter going into halftime, maintaining our focus. It's easy to go in that locker room. You got good air conditioning. You got your sodas, not sodas, I should say. I guess Gatorade and water. You got a couple of snacks, and it's easy to let your guard down. Keep your guard up, guys. Keep your guard up. We got another half to play. We got to go out and play a better half than we did in the first half. And so really understanding that approach. But here's the thing. When you don't know how to win and you're still learning how to win, you're going to have some of that. You're going to have some trial and error when it comes to third quarter or when it comes to not having that juice that you had coming out in the first half. You don't have that juice in the second half. And so that leads you to be a little more lax than things. Well, that's what we have harped on this week. Just being more detailed even after the breaks. Coach Prime put a segment into practice on the back end of the practices this week where we focused on third quarter starts. We'll come out of a break. He give the guys about a 5 to 7 minute break, and we come out of that break. We're going into the third quarter, and we're trying to execute, score touchdowns, and get stops, even in practice. And so just preparing our guys, putting them in those type of situations, you will see it on Saturdays where we'll get better at that.
Well, today is Saturday, Coach.
It's here. It's here, man. It's here. And I'm going to tell you this, man. We got, I know Rob J will tell you guys, and you'll see it on ESPN too. We got the red trousers with the white tops and the white hats. And it's looking good, man. It's looking good, man. I'm just going to tell you guys. You hadn't seen this combination at Jackson State before. I'm just telling you now. Some people, some people might not like it, but it's sexy. It's sexy down there, man. Them guys looking good down there. But if you guys have learned anything about Coach Prime so far, is that he's gonna make sure our guys look the part. He does not play about looking the part. And when you give those guys the opportunity to look the part, they're gonna play up to the part. And so that moniker that he puts out there, look good, play good. You know what I mean? It's coming true. It's coming true.
Yeah. Coach, let me tell you this, man. As a guy who's sexy, I know what it means for everybody not to like it.
You can't speak on it unless you know it, Doc. You can't speak on it unless you know it.
Hey, they don't call me Big Sexy the Giant Killer for nothing, baby. So I'm looking forward to seeing that unit combination. We're going to get down, man. I like the white tops and the red trousers you mentioned. That's going to be fire.
That's going to be fire.
Man, no doubt.
Well, Coach, you always bring it hot and heavy. You always give us the insight. It gets our show started off the right way. Gets the mentality set. Appreciate it as usual. You coming on for your segment.
We appreciate you guys, man. And as always, hey, I know if you can't make it to the stadium, I know Alabama State did some funny stuff with these tickets this week, and that's understandable. They knew a giant killer was coming to town. You know what I mean? And so, you don't want 10,000 fans to come over from Jackson to take over your home stadium. So you have to put stuff into place to keep that from happening. So fans, don't worry. Don't worry. April 3rd, we'll be back. We'll be at home, and you'll be able to come in that stadium and have a party with us. But we're excited about what's about to happen today. I think the guys are ready to play. They're ready to be physical. The coaches are locked in, and ultimately, we want to get out of here with this W and get back home.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. I believe, baby.
I believe. Good talk to you, Coach. Good luck out there, man. Bring that win back.
Hey, same to you guys.
Thanks, Coach. Well, I tell you what, man, he sets the tone for us every week.
Always, man. Bell cow. I hear it ringing. You got to follow the bell cow, baby. Follow the leader. And I got to tell you this, Chuck. We do a good job with bringing on guests like that because it's limited opportunities. It's a special relationship that we have with athletics with this show. But we got something else special that we're unveiling today, man, that other shows don't have. And Chuck, we got a weatherman. We got our own weatherman, Chuck. That's right. We got our own weatherman. He's a Jack State guy, Jack State alum, SGA, former Chief Justice, all that. Straight up meteorologist. So look here, man, before we go to this break, we're going to bring in the weather forecast, and then we'll take it a break, and we'll be back with the pregame show. This week brought to you by Chuck Mullins, attorney at law. But let's kick into a little weather, Roy.
Hi, it's Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams with your I Believe Go Tigers forecast. First of all, in Montgomery, Alabama, we're going to start off with temperatures in the 60s and the winds pushing out of the northeast. Now, the winds are going to stay a range between 6 to 12 miles per hour with an occasional gust up to 15, but we're looking at relatively calm conditions. Also, we're looking for the field to be a little bit on the soft side because of previous deluge of rain, but it's not going to be a muddy situation, just very soft field for the most part. Look for just sunshine for the most part, glaring sunshine throughout most of the day. So there's going to be an advantage depending on what side of the field you're on as the sun is beginning to make its move. As far as tonight's game is concerned in Houston, we're expecting mainly clear skies. In Houston, the winds are going to be pushing out of the east-northeast at about 11 miles per hour during game time. We anticipate that it's going to stay clear throughout the rest of the night. The winds are going to die down to about 5 miles per hour as well. Continue to listen to the I Believe Go Tigers forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Back to you, Neely and Bishop.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
And welcome back to the pregame show here, brought to you by attorney Chuck Mullins here on the Black College Sports Network. Neely, we're finally here at game day. Had a great segment there with Coach O in terms of setting the scene down there in Montgomery. We got another guest down there waiting to bring him in that's going to set the scene even further.
I got to set the scene right here, man. You know, Fish Shack dropped off a load of food for everybody gathered at Churchill for this watch party. I can't wait till we get to the next break. All the fish and crawfish going to be gone, man. But now I kept this daiquiri jug over by me, so they ain't got that. But, man, I wish you could see what I see. It ain't going to be no fish left in Italy, man. We got to wrap this show, man.
No doubt. Well, we will have to bring in DJ Unpredictable. He's down there in Montgomery. He has somehow pilfered some tickets. He's gotten in the stadium down there. We have to bring him in and see what DJ Unpredictable is talking about. Looking forward to it, my man.
Yeah, come on in and unmute Karamba. We see you there. So I tell you, this is our segment that when we're at home, we do the eye in the sky from the DJ's booth. With DJ Unpredictable. But he's on the road. We're here anchored down in Jackson and covered remotely. So DJ Unpredictable, our game day DJ, talk to the people about what you're seeing in Montgomery, baby.
What's going on, Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club, man? It is a beautiful day down here in Jackson, Mississippi West. We are about to take over this stadium. The Alabama Hornets think they was not going to allow us to come in this stadium today. They got another thing coming, baby. As you can see, we got about 1 Jack State bus, 2 Jack State bus, 3 Jack State bus, another bus way over there somewhere with Tiger fans. Let me tell you something, man. Let me flip my camera around. We are here. We are here. And we're going to leave here with a W.
With the win. Way to take that D I Love energy on the road, man. Appreciate you, Karamo, checking in with us as the game day DJ. even on away games, you're the game day DJ wherever you go. We just had Coach O on talking about the atmosphere. So what's the you seen it? I know you've seen the buses that got JSU fans there. And I know they tried to play us on the tickets, but we found a way around it. So good to see you there, man.
Hey, Neely, they know better. You can't swindle no Jackson State University Tiger fans, man. Think we not gonna find no tickets?
You can't out you a Jew. And that's JU, y'all. That's JU. Before somebody accuse us or something. That's we call each other in Jackson.
Right. We don't want to get the podcast shut down. Hey, but listen, man, the Tiger fans are here. The energy is high around everything that's moving this Jackson State University. And if you're able to be here today and you got a ticket, come on and support Jackson State University football team.
You know, Karama, one of the things that we know about our Jackson State fans is they follow the Jackson State Tigers. They get on the party buses. They do all of that. Just the energy that the Jackson State fans bring to the football stadium. I'm sure the football team is more than appreciative of all the JSU fans that made their way over to Montgomery today.
Yes, listen, let me tell you something. With the COVID guidelines in place where the marching bands can't travel, the fans stand in the gap. We are the band, we are the cheerleaders, we are the fans, and we are the 12th man on the field, and we're going to show up and show out today here against Alabama State.
Well said, DJ Unpredictable. We appreciate you as always. We got a week off due to Prayer Review pushing back, but we're going to, of course, bring you back when we're at home for that spring Boombot Classic and get you in that DJ booth. So we'll see you there first weekend in April, brother.
Go Tiger Talk with the 1400 Club.
Go Tigers. Appreciate you.
Go Tigers. Appreciate you, DJ.
You know, Chuck, he mentioned being there in Alabama as we moved to take a look around the SWAC. You know, it being there, didn't get a chance to get a lot of tickets because we had to, buy season packets to get in for this game and COVID guidelines and all that kind of thing. So as you look around the SWAC, we did have an earlier game postponed. We had the opportunity this weekend to see a couple of upcoming opponents. Prairie View A&M was going to play Alabama A&M. That game got scrubbed. Prairie View had to shut down for 2 weeks. So our upcoming game with them was pushed back to April 24th. But you spent a little time with talking with some Alabama folks this week.
Yeah, no doubt. We talked with Travis Jerome, who is the voice of the Hornet Sports Network, and he really gave us some insight on this Alabama State football team. Travis, when we take a look at this matchup with Jackson State and Alabama State, we definitely will take a look at it from the standpoint, Alabama State has kind of had their way with Jackson State. They've won 7 out of the last 10 matches.
They have, but to be quite honest, we don't look at the wins. We just go back and look at the losses when we're here. And we remember the last time Jackson State came into Montgomery and kind of handled us a little bit. It was 20-2. And that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Even when we came to 2019, it was one of those of what are we walking into? What are we going to do? We knew it was homecoming. But it's 2021, it's spring, it's different. It's a different environment. It's different on your end because of what you got going on over there. It's, there's a different vibe around this game, and we try to make sure we focus as Jackson State and Alabama State. And to be quite honest, Jackson State's kind of had their way with us in some other sports. So it kind of, you can't look past it. And this football series has always been tight over the last 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So, it's one of those where you want to throw history out the window and say it's 2021. So let's just focus on this game, not worry about what happened in the past.
Sure thing. When we take a look at this year's 2021 version of the Alabama State Hornets, new signal caller, Ryan Nettles under center. But, the offense still looks like they're getting their footing under them.
Yeah, a lot of skill players came back, which helps Ryan a little bit. You've got that entire receiving core came back. Jeremiah Hickson's back from an injury he suffered in fall of 19, which gives us that third threat. And then you've got guys in that receiver position coming off the bench that you don't skip a beat with. In the backfield, you've got a guy like Ezra Gray that's been here for 4 years. He knows what it's about. He knows what this game's about. He knows what the SWAC is about. And then you throw a Jacorey Merritt, who's a power guy in that backfield. He's a local kid that really shouldn't even be at Alabama State. He had a chance to go to a group of 5 schools. He had several offers from a group of 5 schools and chose here because he's a local kid and made the move to stay in Montgomery. And then you throw Ryan Nettles in there. Kid hadn't played football in 3 years after a knee injury in high school. And that first hit he took against Southern, I think it made him realize he was playing football again. And then he was just a different quarterback after the 2 turnovers early. He just settled in and really got going. And, you hate to say it because you got guys playing behind him, and we got a lot of good freshmen that are sitting out this year at quarterback, but it looks like that quarterback position has been solidified now with him under center. I mean, the kid is you don't want to say he's a running quarterback. He's more of a pure pocket passer, but can make plays with his legs when he needs to, which is what he did against Southern to set up that last chance that we had to try to tie it and send it to overtime.
Sure thing. When you talk about, and you mentioned some of the weapons that Alabama State has on offense, definitely deep threat weapon. Michael Jefferson, one of the best deep threats in the SWAC.
He is, but Jackson State had his number the last time, and that's the thing about it. I think he had 1 catch, maybe 2 the last time we were over there, but when he did, that was when Jahad Booker made his presence felt in the SWAC. But Michael Jefferson's one of the. And I said this earlier when I was talking to Mike Corey, who's doing play-by-play. I said, I've been around a lot of group of 5 schools, Power 5 schools, seeing them play. Mike's probably one of the best pure receivers I've seen in a while. He's got that size. He's 6'4", almost 200 now. Makes catches that you just wouldn't think he'd make, and he's a big target, which helps Ryan. But there's a lot of attention on Mike, but you got the Jahad Booker, you got the Jeremiah Hickson, and I'll go back and I'll say this probably till I'm blue in the face. That play that Ryan Nettles made to Jeremiah Hickson in the back of the end zone at the end of the first half, he rolls right and Hickson's running right, and he hits him square in the chest, and Hickson toe taps on the sideline. You don't see that every day with a catch from a receiver and a throw like that from the quarterback. So that tells you, the more you focus on Mike, the more weapons we have around him now to help him out.
No doubt about it. When we're talking Alabama State, we definitely have to focus in on the defense, which is can be one of their calling cards. They got some studs over there on that side of the ball.
And it starts in the middle. A lot of people in the past have focused on that defensive line, which, they're still there. You still got the Christian Clarks plug in the middle. He's down about 40 pounds. So he's able to get around, and he's still got his strength. He's able to still, stop up the middle, but also able to handle those offensive linemen. Brandon Gaddy, a transfer from Maryland, is on one side of him. And then you got Andrew Ogletree, an all-SWAC performer that came out of nowhere in 19 on one side. And then behind them, you got guys that should be starting at other schools at that D-line. But, when you talk about our defense, the middle is where it's at when you got a guy like Bubba Adams, that middle linebacker. You're used to seeing a 56 or 54s at linebacker. This kid has put on jersey number 4.
Yeah.
And I'll be quite honest. The kid told me he was going to get 20 tackles the first game, ended up with 10. Probably should have had some more. And he told me yesterday he missed 5 that he knew he had. But the first 3 plays we had on defense, Southern was at the 3-yard line. They ended up not getting past the 3-yard line because of Bubba. Then you got a guy like Nicholas Terry at one linebacker, Austin Brundage at another. They're just really high football IQs. You're not going to hear their names called a lot, but they'll make plays. And then that defensive backfield. You got Natron Culpepper on one side. You got Pug, who really hasn't played a whole lot from UAB, Alonda Strong on one side. But then you've got a James Burgess and Ershaw Davis, just guys that can make plays. We're 5'10", 5'11", 6'1", 6'2", in that backfield and defensive backfield. Keenan Isaac is out. You throw a 6'2" kid in there when he's healthy, and he's on the other side of Culpepper. So, we lost a lot from last year, but that calling card has always been that defense. And you've got a guy like Travis Pearson calling the plays. Guy's been around the SWAC for a long, long time, knows how to call. And this weekend will be a little interesting because, they've seen the changes that Jackson State has made offensively, and Coach Ely even said it earlier this week on the radio. They've taken what would be a 5-yard loss on a dump pass where they try to run outside to now it's a 10-yard game because they turned it into a pass play and are able to pick up yards. I mean, it's just the little things like that people notice. And then when you break down film like we do for radio, it opens your eyes a little bit, and you're like, this is not what I called 2 years ago. I'm used to calling a swing pass that nobody's out front blocking. Now it's a swing pass where the guy's 2 yards up past the line of scrimmage already catching it and takes off for another 10.
Sure.
It's all that stuff that you watch, and and it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be the typical Alabama State Jackson State game. But, you know, as always, I know what show I'm on. But, you know, as always, I don't have the logo on, which I told you earlier. But you know where my loyalties lie. So
of course, no doubt about it. It should be a great one. Jackson State, Alabama State, a SWAC East battle in Montgomery. Travis, as always, man, thank you for stopping by the pregame show.
Anytime.
And that was Travis Drone. He is the voice of the Hornet Sports Network. Neely, he touched on some guys in that segment. Big Christian Clark, big nose guard, right in the middle of 6'1", 360. What are you doing over there, guy?
Speaking of big nose guards, man, you caught me, man. I didn't realize we was coming back from break in the fish shack, man. They took care of us. I put the daiquiri in my Negan cup, and hold on, let me put this down. Shout out to the fish shack. So yeah, great segment, Chuck. Great segment. I think you're going to hear some of that coming up a little later with our segment with Coach Pollard. That was just some good information on what to watch, what numbers to watch from those guys. Alabama State only has one game. They play against Southern. That was on national TV as well, so we did get a good look at them. But we're still looking for those data points around the SWAC. Because there hasn't been a lot of games to really know, is this guy a beast? Is this guy a bunny? Because there's just not a lot of data. But today is going to be a good measuring stick to where we are, to where they are, and how we move forward.
No doubt about it. A great measuring stick today with Alabama State. He touched on some guys. They're bringing in a new quarterback under center, redshirt freshman Ryan Nettles. He was 16 of 27 in that Southern game for 149 yards. But he's a big-time product. He threw for over 5,000 yards in high school and 52 touchdowns. Ezra Gray, he is the straw that stirs the drink, if you will, for Alabama State. Tough running back. He's also a return specialist, all SWAC in both areas. And they pair him in the backfield with Jacorey Merritt. They have a guy that can break it outside and a guy that runs in between the tackles.
Yeah, I think that quarterback is one to keep an eye on, man. As SID was saying, when he got going in that Southern game, he got going. High school kid with great, phenomenal records coming out of high school in Alabama. Had an injury, has bounced back from that. So our D-line is going to have to make him move his feet, put some pressure on him while the safeties and corners do their job in the secondary. Going to be a good game to watch.
Tell you what, when we come back from break, we'll get more into this matchup, Jackson State and Alabama State. It's Bishop, it's Neely here on the Black College Sports Network.
If you're looking for quality seafood with friendly service, then the Fish Shack is the place for you. We're fast, fresh, and convenient, and ready to serve you today. You can order online and come in, or pick up your food curbside. We have outdoor seating as well. Need something to cool your taste buds? We have tasty daiquiris that you're sure to love. So come see us today at the Fish Shack in Byram, where we have great seafood and good daiquiris.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
Okay, so how long have you been coming to Stanford?
Since 1987. I've forever loved Stansburg because the people, they're real people. They help the community and their family own and operate. And the food, the quality, and service has always been phenomenal. And anywhere I'm at, I always recommend people to them. It's great food, and you get enough love for your money. If you need a good place to eat and you want a good environment to support the community and support the effort of the Jackson community, I recommend Super Burger to you because, like I said,
And we are back with the pregame show. Chuck, you know it's game day. Jackson State Tigers are over in Alabama, Montgomery, the Gump, if you will. But we got another big game that's going to be on national TV tomorrow. And we got that head coach with us, no other than Tamika Reed, head coach of the Lady Tigers. Coach Reed, welcome again to the pregame show. And you are live in San Antonio with your Lady Tigers. How you feeling?
I am feeling fabulous. We actually just finished practicing in this hotel gym. We only had an opportunity to practice in the gym that we'll play in once, and that was yesterday. So today we just kind of got up and down the court a little bit, and kind of worked on our game plan somewhat. And just making the girls comfortable at this point and making them, to understand why we're here. And number one is to have fun. And number two is to be competitive and tough and go out and handle business. So that's what we've just got through doing. So we're excited.
No doubt.
Coach, I've seen some of your Instagram posts from you and the Lady Tigers account. It's good to see you guys in high spirits, making the most of these moments, creating these memories. There's been a lot of talk about the discrepancies between the men's tournament facilities and what the women are having to deal with. But to see your positive attitude, because attitude reflects leadership, and to see your team following you and making the best of these moments. Talk to us about what that's been like in that experience.
It's been really tough because one thing about it, when we travel, we eat good. It's steak, it's potatoes, it's salmon. We eat really good food. And when we got here, we had bare minimum. I mean, I almost passed out. They had to do an emergency run for me. I told our ADs that I was gonna have to come back to Jackson because I didn't have any strength. And so I saw the players and how much they struggle, but nevertheless, I met with them and I said, y'all aren't struggling alone. We are all in this together. But one thing about it, Alabama State would love to be here. Alabama A&M would love to be here. So what we're going to do, we're going to make the most of this. This is all a part of our journey, is what I was telling them. We are in a pandemic, and unfortunately, this is what we got to go through. Let's make the best of it. And so, the first 2 days were rough, but the next few days, we ate really good. The players had desserts, appetizers, everything. And so it's been really good. Now they are ready. Now they're locked in and really focused. But it was really rough those first 2 days, being in quarantine and being in isolation and not being able to get the food and get the things that we needed for strength and to survive, really.
Well, Coach, when we look at the anatomy of an upset, we saw a 15 seed take down a number 2 seed yesterday. What are some things that you would like to see from your team to create the anatomy of an upset?
When that 15 seed beat the number 2 yesterday, we were ending practice, and AD Robinson came into our circle and told us it can be done. And when he said that, everybody's faces lit up. The girls were extremely happy, and they were really encouraged. We've been watching a lot of those basketball games, and we're seeing how these lower seeds are in these games and what they're doing to be in them. And that's the game plan we're looking to implement. Be tough, be physical, get shots up, rebound, play defense. That's what it comes down to. So the girls are extremely encouraged to see that. And right now they're ready to play, y'all. I told them, forget how it turns out. Forget what happens. When that ball is thrown in the air for tip off, you look at each other, you say, hey, we got each other back. This is what we do. We're going to go hard. We're going to give our best effort, and we're going to play together.
Coach, I know, unlike my partner, Chuck, there, you are pretty biblically centered. Often in church on Sunday mornings, Chuck is out on the golf course. So I'm reminded of a similar story when David brought down Goliath. And so I want to encourage your young ladies to not only remember what David used, but the specifics of it. He not only used a stone, he used a smooth stone. And what makes a stone smooth is when it's been through something. And you guys coming from the tournament last year on the way to Alabama, getting canceled, running through the SWAC with that one regular season loss, winning the regular season championship, winning in that tough, fought-out physical game to get the SWAC tournament title. You guys are smooth, and y'all are like David, and I can't wait to see the Lady Tigers take down Goliath.
Awesome. I appreciate that. I like that analogy. I've never really heard the smooth part of it. I like that. And I'm certainly going to use it. We're going to use whatever we can to get these girls going. But I told them at this point, you do what you do. We're on the 16-game win streak. Do what you do.
No doubt.
Coach, we appreciate you representing 1400 Lynch Street, representing Jackson State, and representing the SWAC and all HBCUs in your game tomorrow. You're about 24 hours from tip-off, so we know you need to get back to it and get with your team. But thank you so much for checking in to Tiger Nation. And I just got 2 words for you, Coach. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Tamika Reed, she does a tremendous job with our Lady Tigers basketball team. They have been stalwarts in the SWAC this past season, all the way through the SWAC tournament. Tremendously exciting game to come out ahead. And tomorrow, you know, get an opportunity to go against one of those Goliaths, as you put it.
Yeah, man. You know, these are exciting times in HBCU Nation. You know, you got ESPN. We're on ESPN2 today, the football team. We'll be on ABC, their national network, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I think, is that tip-off. So this is exciting times to represent the culture, represent HBCUs, and to get that brand out there. And, you know, and as we pivot back to the game at hand today, you know, over there in Alabama State in Montgomery, spend a little time with Coach Michael Pollock this week, talking about what we can work on for that third quarter woes. You know, it's one thing that we're undefeated, but there's just been an obvious drop down in the third quarter. So spend a little time, Chuck, just talking about that. And we're going to pivot to that segment with Coach Michael Pollock, and then we'll be right back.
All right, should be going. And I'll just lead us in with a little countdown. 3, 2, and 1. Coach Pollock, always a pleasure to visit with you on the pregame show. You guys have a great week out there practicing, getting ready?
Man, we had an awesome week. I tell you what, just keep getting better every week. Confidence is booming right now, you know, but, you know, our kids are still focused on correcting the mistakes we made in the games and just trying to get better, strive for excellence, and to dominate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I see you got your seatbelt on there, and I know the Tiger fans are fastened in and ready and always excited to see this offense because we've been putting up some points, averaging about 40-plus a game in this 3-game season that we had, you know, 2-0 in the SWAC. Still have some challenges in the third quarter. You know, you and I talked before the last home game about that. What was the focus this week to still try to get over that hump and keep that production going for the third?
Well, you know, first of all, we talked to our kids about not letting up. I mean, it's, you know, we got to understand that we want to have that mentality to every time we take the field that we want to dominate. We don't want to be satisfied. And, you know, that's like I told our offense, you know, the best reps you're going to get are game reps. And so when you're out there, you need to have the kind of focus and the expectation to be successful and to continue to go out there and have that killer net with a sledgehammer type attitude and mentality. But, you know, this week we actually had a period where we actually labeled it. This is our third quarter coming out period for our offense and our defense. And, you know, Coach Prime put us in some situations, wanted us to come out and have a game plan together for the third quarter to, you know, so, you know, we've called their attention. It's definitely in our crosshairs. And we just, you know, want to be more focused and have the attitude that, hey, we got to come out and after the halftime and play because, like you said, we have struggled in the third quarter, and there's no reason for it. It's just a lack of focus, a lack of the killer instinct that we got to have to come out. And they can't be satisfied. Can't just assume everything's locked in and going because we still got a lot of football to play in the second half.
No doubt about it. Well said. You know, we visited with Coach Prime after that game, and he placed some emphasis on it on that presser where he said that sometimes he thinks maybe the players are following his mood and that you know, he's getting loose and getting excited because we're up and we're going to stay up. But he took the challenge on and took the leadership himself and said, you know, I think I'm going to change some things personally so they can see this intensity coming into the third quarter. So. Good to see that you guys, you know, focused on that this week because, you know, you know, Coach, is one of those things where you're winning. you know, you're 3-0, and no one has, other than that Grambling game, no one's really been, you know, close, and so you got to still find those things that we can fix and get better at. So in that regard, other than that third quarter, getting that shored up, what were some of those other points of emphasis this week with your run game or your pass game?
Right. Well, I tell you what, we were a little disappointed with our rushing output against Mississippi Valley State. It wasn't up to our standard in terms of not so much the total yardage, but as far as being able to get some explosive plays. We want to get explosive plays in our run game as well. You know, we were able to accomplish that in the passing game. And you know, I felt like that due to the fact that we did have some explosive plays in the passing game, that might have also had an impact on the lack of explosiveness in the run game. because of what they were giving us and what they were doing. But you know, they had a pretty good defensive line that played hard. They played with a lot of heart and a lot of effort, and they gave us a little, you know, some trouble up there that you know, we were able to evaluate this week and fix the problems in there. So it was good. It was a good experience for us, and you know, so that was an emphasis this week on just cleaning up our run game, making sure we're taking the right angles, making sure our backs are hitting the holes and reading the holes correctly. And then, of course, just continuing to grow in our passing game. You know, we did have a good game passing last week with, you know, Jalen had 250 yards, and we had over 300 yards passing for the game. So, but we just want to continue to grow that game and expand and be able to be more consistent. You know, we were really hot in the passing game in the first half. And then we went through a stretch there again in the second half. We went 1 for 10. So we just, you know, just continuing to be consistent, continuing to be the kind of team that we want to be, that we demand of ourselves.
Yeah. Has there been any thought, you know, again, back on that third quarter, you just touched on it there. Has there been any thought to letting the defense go first in the second half? You know, if we win that toss to see if adjusted some, because they've been setting the tone and doing the thing. So it's going to be interesting to see, Coach, what kind of adjustments are made. And I know that as we move into this season, you know, we got 3 games under our belt, 2 conference games, and Alabama State, the opponent today, has only 1 conference game against Southern. So not a lot of data points out there to really know what your matchups are like. But what are you seeing from their defense that you're going to try to make sure you guys are ready for or try to exploit?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It is refreshing because this is the first game. We played 3 games this year, and this is the first game that we've actually been able to really watch a team on tape that played this year. And everybody else was their first game of the season. So, you know, preparing for them was a challenge because you're using tape from 2019. So it was good to have that Southern game, you know, and they've made some personnel adjustments from 2 years ago that we were noticeable. You know, they acquired number 45, so defensive end Cam Rampersad. They got him out of a junior college in North Dakota State. He's about 6'4", about 271, and he's just a really high intensity, high motor guy on the defensive front. And they got a big boy, 94. He's about 6 foot, but he's about 365, and he's Christian Clark, I think. So, yeah, Christian Clark's his name. And he's low to the ground. He's going to be a challenge to move because he's so big. And he plays with good technique, especially in the run game. You know, a linebacker they really like. He started for him last year. He was number 56. This year he's number 4. His name's Colton Adams. He's your prototypical middle linebacker. He's going to play the run really well, tackle for tackle, and he's kind of their. You can tell he's got some leadership ability about him on their defense, and they kind of they listen to him. And then they got this another corner that they brought in, Culpepper, number 5. That he's a really talented player. Got a really good grade as far as his skill level and everything. He's their best cover guy. So you know, it'll be a challenge for us to attack those guys and to be able to you know, be effective the offense, because they do have good players at all 3 levels.
Good deal. Nothing like when a coach not only knows his opponent, but even knows those players' names and numbers, who to watch out for. So I can tell you've been in that film room, Coach.
Thank you. Well, you know, there's a lot of work goes into it. We get a great scout report done by them, and then we can actually sit down and read about them and really get to know their defense well and the type of players that they are, and you know, it just helps us to attack their personnel and their scheme. Well,
good job, Coach, and we appreciate you checking in with us, and good luck, and looking forward to a safe trip out there and bringing that W back to Jackson. And as always, man, we love you guys and supporting you. Go Tigers.
Thank you, man. The I love, baby.
The I love.
See you guys. Thank y'all.
And welcome back into the pregame show. That was Coach Michael Pollack You know, he gave us some more data points and some players to look for. They got a big guy right in the middle, nose guard, Christian Clark, 6'1", 363 pounds. Maryland transfer Brandon Gaddy is another defensive lineman that they have there. And then they have a middle linebacker. He was flying around all over the place in that Southern game. Colton Adams, 6'2", 220, with Alabama. They are a big-ass defense.
Yeah, they are, man. And, you know, that Southern game got started a little slow. But when it picked up, the intensity picked up. It was both teams' first game, so a little jitters maybe. They've, you know, had a little layoff since then, but I think they're going to come to play. And now keep in mind, you heard their SID mention some specific players. You heard our coach mention those same players. Those are folks to keep your eyes on as this game development goes on.
No doubt about it. And they also have a all-swag performer in the secondary in the Trump. Culpepper, he's a South Florida transfer. So this is a stern test today, just like when we played Grambling. Tiger fans are going to have to be, you know, ready and game face on, because this is going to be a pretty good one today. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's check that weather, man. Run the commercial. When we come back, we got the dark side defense. Coach Shad Ford with us.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the I Believe Go Tigers forecast. I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Winds will be pushing out of the northeast between 6 to 12 miles per hour for the game. The kickoff, we're looking at sunshine and temperatures near 60 degrees. We'll stay near the low 60s most of the game. Just a very slight breeze, but no problems. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Look out for blaring sunshine. That may actually cause a visual concern for us on certain sides of the field. The field, by the way, conditions should be soft field. That should primarily be it for the Montgomery game. I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Back to you, Neely and Bishop.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
And welcome back to the pregame show brought to you by attorney Chuck Mullins. I tell you what, no better way to close out the pregame show than to have an individual who anchored the 1995-1996 SWAC champions. He's also a Black College National Champion. Chad Ford, welcome into the pregame show, buddy.
Man, thank you so much. Love being here, Chuck.
No doubt about it. Well, you know, Alabama State, you know, that over the last 10 contests, they've given us all sorts of fits. But we last time we played them over in Montgomery, we got the victory. So what are you looking for today from Jackson State?
Getting out to a fast start. We got to establish the line of scrimmage, our presence inside. We have to get out to a fast start. We've seen the last several ball games. We get out, started slow. We ended the half pretty good. Coming to the second half, the same thing. We started out slow. So get out to a fast start. Be consistent constantly.
You know, Chad, you are part of that legendary defense under James Big Daddy Carson, the dark side, SWAC championship, national black championships. Going to do some things in the future to recognize that as well. But you're here at Churchill. We're getting ready for this watch party. It was 3 p.m. kickoff. When you hear, put yourself in that defensive mind, that mindset. When you hear what those concerns are coming out of the third quarter, what does the defense need to do should the offense once again fall flat in that second half? How do they step up and make sure that if the offense production falls off, that we still don't allow points on the board?
It all starts with mindset. You have to understand, the offense put them in the stands, but defense wins championships. So it starts with the mindset. Once they fully believe, and again, now they haven't had very long to prepare. You know, so they're still getting acclimated. They're still learning about themselves and learning about each other. But come out in the third quarter, they have to believe. And once they build that confidence and continue to do what they're doing and continue to do it well and improve, should have cards.
Chad, I know you look at both sides of the ball. Jackson State comes into this game averaging 454 yards a game and 43 points per game. But I think there's been a concerted effort. And we heard Coach Pollock talk about establishing that run game and really controlling that line of scrimmage. Even Coach O talked about it. But what is it that you like to see from the offense?
Kudos to the offensive staff. They're doing a great job. But the main thing, again, is being consistent. And being consistent in the run game, being consistent in the pass game, making the adjustments, making those on-site adjustments faster, making that read faster. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands to the receiver's hands to the playmaker's hands and just move the ball down like they've been doing.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. We're going to work on Chad. Turn your mic down just a little bit. That's what the producer's saying in the ear. Don't go anywhere, though. As we finish out this segment, Chuck, we're about 4 minutes before we transition to ESPN2. Again, this is the pregame show. We're going to be back at halftime. Chad Ford will be with us talking about the defensive breakdown. Legendary Jimmy Smith, Jacksonville Jaguars, leader in receptions, and their pride, ring of pride there at their stadium is going to be with us. So we got a lot of show left. We got 4 minutes of this show left, but we got halftime, we got postgame. So you want to check back in, but be sure at 3 p.m. ESPN2, Tigers live against Alabama State Hornets. So, Chuck, from your end around the SWAC kind of field, I know we had that A&M game against Prairie View Council, postponed, I should say. So you got 2 matchups today. Grambling played a little early. I haven't refreshed that score yet to see how that's going. What are you seeing to come after this game from around the SWAC perspective?
Well, one of the games that I really wish we would have had an opportunity to see today was Alabama A&M versus Prairie View. You're talking about one of the top quarterbacks in the conference in the Quill Glass, taking on the Prairie View defense that brought back 9 defensive starters, 4 all-SWAC selections, and they got a guy at defensive end, Story Jackson, who really comes off the edge, and he has really been a quarterback hunter. So that would have been a tremendous matchup. We're going to have to wait to see that. But a very interesting matchup, I think, tonight. Southern visits Houston, taking on Texas Southern. Texas Southern, they brought in a new quarterback who's kind of reignited their offense. They got a nice running back, Ladarius Owens. He rushed for over 150 yards against that same Prairie View defense that I think is one of the more stingy defenses in the SWAC. So that'll be a pretty good contest tonight. When you take a look at Southern, the question becomes quarterback play. Looks like John Lampley will get the start tonight instead of Ladarius Skelton. So a little bit of quarterback controversy going down there in Baton Rouge. Everybody has seen Ladarius Skelton, but he has had a subpar end of the 2019 season. And thus far, some maturity issues have cropped up with Ladarius Skelton down there at Southern. So John Lampley looks like he will get the go tonight for Southern. So that'll be a pretty good contest. I'm going to refresh the screen and see what's happening with Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Grambling. All the texts that I'm getting, apparently Pine Bluff is on top of Grambling, which is a huge shocker. That game is in the hole down there in Grambling.
Yeah.
Grambling had a tough go. I know when I was checking on it at halftime, Pine Bluff was up 14-7, so we'll have to check on it. We'll probably talk a little bit about it at halftime.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, if that holds, there's going to be some temperature rising on that coaching seat in Grambling. The temperature went up after that first week, went up a little higher than second. If they start off 0-3, it's going to be some issues. But we have enough to say grace over. But I can't not miss opportunity to pick on Southern down there in Baton Rouge. The old mantra in coaching, if you got 2 quarterbacks, you ain't got 1. So we're going to see what comes out with that controversy down there, who gets to start and who doesn't play, and what that production is like for that game. Because we had a great opportunity to see some upcoming opponents, so we're going to check on those games and keep those posted at halftime and post-game. Chad Ford, you never want to look ahead as a football player, but, we postponed that Prairie View game, and they're coming to Jackson on April 24th. If this schedule and win shake out the way it's looking, that Prairie View game the week before the SWAC championship could be to determine who hosts the SWAC championship. Does Prairie View come right back to Jackson, or does Jackson have to go to Houston? How do you keep you guys in the moment and not look ahead?
One game at a time. One game at a time, one day at a time. That's all you got to do. Stay focused, eyes up, focus on. Stay ready. One day at a time.
No doubt about it. Coach Pollard talked about focusing. We've been outscored in the third quarter, 7-6. Neely, come back to that UAPB Grambling game. The score, UAPB is on top of Grambling 48-14.
Woo! I'm about to get hazed.
So that's 12:45 there in the fourth quarter. So That takes us right into our game. It's Jackson State versus Alabama State. We want to thank all our sponsors, attorney Chuck Mullins, Chambers and Gaylor. They've been with us from the start. Amber Slaughter, the project architect, Turner Insurance, Penn Street Investments, and the Fish Shack for providing Neely with something to eat over there.
And John Hardy here, y'all, he took my jug. My jug done went around the corner somewhere. The fellas that ate all the fish. We going right to the game. I'm going to get some fish with Dak. We might do halftime with Little Buzz. Who knows?
No doubt about it. It is Bishop. It is Neely here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll see you at halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and for all those who's listening and watching it from around the world. And we are now live from the corner of Dalton and Lynch Street. It's the show where we take you inside the game before the game begins. It's the Pregame. Brought to you by Chambers and Gaylor Law Firm with your host, Charles Bishop and Neely. So get ready because we pregame harder than the other show's party. It's the Pregame.